Hello and welcome to Development Diary number 3 of Project Sunless Doom. As I'm sure you can tell, there have been significant changes to the game as a whole since the last video. The most obvious one being the graphical update, where we have significantly more artwork than before. As you can see, the player character here is this ship, which is a bit more actual personality. The next thing I should mention is the fact that the player can now shoot in more directions than just straight dead ahead. The barrel aims whichever direction the cursor is pointing to, but of course you cannot shoot inside yourself, as is indicated by the red tint by the barrel. This is mostly to allow players to not always have to be facing the direction they want to shoot in, somewhat obviously. It's just mainly for convenience, as it gets a little bit frustrating having to turn and then to rotate, then to turn, and so on and so forth. Even though that's what the dodge mechanic is for, but it's nice to have more options. Now, as I'm sure you've noticed, shooting and dodging both fill up this meter. What happens when this meter fills up? Well, you can't shoot anymore. And you can't dodge anymore until it starts going down. Or to say, it empties. This is to prevent the player from just constantly shooting or constantly spamming the dodge. There is a limit to this. It's pretty gracious. You have a lot that you can do, but it's important to have a limit of some sort. Now, next mechanic. Up here you have the health bar, which was there before, but below is the blue bar. The blue bar, as some might be able to guess instantly, is shields, which regenerates passively pretty much always. After you take full shield damage, it will stop regenerating, and then you'll take health damage until your shields start to come back again. This is very similar to how Halo works. And finally, I believe we have a minimap. This is new. You can use it to scan your surroundings. Right now it's literally just a more zoomed out camera, but in the future I plan to add more interesting icons and such in this area. So that's enough of the user interface. Now we have these things. These things are commonly referred to as docking stations. You fly over to them, you press F, it's a sort of pause menu where you have the save and load buttons from before. It also tells you the controls, and you can disembark. Now, one important thing to mention is that when this happens, your health restores to full, and also all the enemies in the area, they respawn. Speaking of enemies, let's have a look at the new graphics on the turret. See here? It has a nice little animation, and when it gets aggravated, the animation changes and it shoots at you. The turrets have now made a significant upgrade, and before that, they will now aggro when you shoot them, as well as when you get close to them. Also, if you get outside of their aggro radius, they will keep shooting for a little bit, but eventually they will stop. There you go, see, now it's back to the passive state. An interesting thing that I have developed is a sort of credit system for the damage. So if we move over here, so these two turrets are close to each other, flying between them produces an interesting result. This one gets shot by its friend, so it shoots the other one. Whoops. And I just ruined that by crashing into it. But yes, see now, you can trick the AI into shooting itself. Which I consider to be very interesting. Now let's move on to the new enemies. Oh, well, one of the new enemy has already joined the party for some reason. This is known as the enemy ship, which is basically a copy of your current ship. Just tries to get close to you and then shoots forward. Goes down pretty quickly. Although that one did seem to have some damage on it already. And the other new ship, the ram drone. Literally all it does is just tries to get right into your face as quickly as it possibly can. Of course, right now it's trying to circle around, but now, say a collision, turns around, and gets another run up. Think. And once it dies, the little orb in the middle turns black and starts cracking up, and that is the end of that. Flies off. So if I were to turn to the station and disembark, you'll notice that the enemies have respawned. Currently, they're not too much of a threat. For example, the ram drone tends to just crash into the walls and just not have any health. I might want to consider giving it shields as well. One thing I should mention, these health pickups, which I have not given graphics yet, if I walk over them, they will respawn when I dock at a station. Disembark. And you can see it's returned. One thing that you've probably already figured out yourself, but is worth mentioning, is that the shooting mechanics, your projectiles, they do not take your player's momentum anymore. So they'll shoot exactly where you're aiming at, regardless of how fast you're moving, if you're rotating at the same time. Always go exactly where you point to. So if you point to this thing, doesn't matter. Always going to be going in the direction I shoot. Alright, well, thank you all for watching. I believe that is going to be the end of this development diary. Have a good one.